No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on into ExtraMile Arena. We are live as Boise State gets set to take on San Jose State. Abe, I forgot how tall you are. I got to raise up the thing there a little bit. How we doing today, Abe?
Good. Yeah, had a full day and
8:30, man.
Little evening basketball.
I got the full rock star here ready to go. Last game, I think you saw me, but it wasn't cold, so I had to get a cup of ice, and I had this like pink energy drink and a cup of ice, and I think people thought I was enjoying a beverage or something in the middle of the game. But
pink beverage would be your style.
Vodka or something in there. Yeah, some sort of beverage. But we are here at ExtraMile Arena, 8:30. Kind of a late start, kind of a bummer with that. But
yeah, we had some good starts at 2:00, 11:00, 5:30, and then there'll be an 8:30 and then a 9:00 to roll out the season. But it's just how it goes. I think every team has some of those this year.
The 9:00 game's a little bit of a bad beat on senior night. We'll worry about that next week. But the Fresno State game, they did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Won by 24, took care of business. Obviously, Tyson was good again. But what impressed you? What did you like about what you saw against Fresno on Saturday?
Well, I think it's maybe not rare, but it doesn't happen, every single time that when you are the team that is supposed to win by a certain amount, and you're supposed to win in a certain way because your advantage is at the post like it was against Fresno, so that actually happens. And that's what happened against Fresno State. The Broncos were favored by 14. They ended up winning by 24. The advantage was in the post, of course, because of the injuries to the Fresno State Bulldog big men. And the Broncos took advantage of that. And when you do that, you also get yourself to the free throw line. The Bulldogs are shooting jump shots. The Broncos are taking it in the paint. and you saw the points in the paint differential. I think the Broncos won that by 10, but then the free throw discrepancy was huge. I think overall it was a really good performance by the Broncos.
And Tyson Degenhart, 24 points again, over 20. I think it's 7 of his last 12 games. I think I asked you about him on the pregame show against Fresno, but he continues. He got to the foul line, set his career high there with 14 free throw attempts, but down the stretch here, he continues to play at a first-team all-league level.
He does, and I think he's going to get that. And because he's so consistent and what he brings to this team. Defense, I mean, we don't really talk about his defense, but he is still a very good interior defender. He doesn't guard the rim by blocking shots and getting up high like maybe a Stanley does. He guards the rim by being physical and keeping a player who's trying to back him down away from the hoop. So we talk about his rebounding and his offense, but I think his defense is also even better than it was last year.
Chibuzo Abo had 3 threes. Max Rice had 3 threes. Omar Stanley had 17 points. I mean, I don't think...
And Omar Stanley knocked down a 3.
What was he, 1 for 3?
Yeah, still 33% from your big guy. You take that from behind.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm still I'm not coming around all the way yet, Dave, but I
think he's shooting around 40% on the year in conference.
All right. Well, he's all right.
Okay, we digress.
Yes,
okay.
But I still don't think there's been too many games this year where you've had all your big guns clicking at the same time.
Yep.
And you could even argue they weren't all clicking, but you had, as I said, Buzo and Max both had 3 threes. The other guys were both, above 15 points. I mean, that's got to be an encouraging sign for Leon Rice that we still haven't seen that, because usually when one guy gets going, Max Rice scores 35 and Abo scores 5 or whatever. But it seems like we started to see multiple guys get going in the same game there, and if that can happen down the stretch here, that's a good sign.
Well, what happened in that game is that whoever was open for the shot did their job and knocked it down. You got your 3-point shooters hitting 3-pointers. You got your inside guys taking it in the paint and getting fouled and making buckets and making free throws. Everybody was rebounding. So when you have everybody that is maybe not on fire like we see in some games, but everyone is just playing how they should, that is what's going to happen. You're going to get multiple guys with probably 10 to 15 points and then one guy with 18 to 25, and you're going to blow some teams out. And that's what it should be tonight too. Same blueprint against Fresno here against San Jose.
And what is it, 5-6 games? I don't know the number since the New Mexico game, but since Max Rice broke out for that 35-point game, his last 6 games, I think he's at 50% from 3. So he's figured it out, and it's been a prolonged shooting success for him, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, life of a shooter. I mean, that's just how it goes. You're not going to shoot 40% or 42% every single game when you're shooting a bunch of threes. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have some 50%. You're going to have some 32%. You might go 60. You might go 35. It's just what happens when you're a shooter. And nice to see that Max is really getting it rolling in these last few games.
I said it on the post-game show when they played San Jose State the first time that I thought that was a season-saving second half. And I know Leon at the time said way too early to say that. But you look back, if they had not been able to overcome that 10-point deficit there, I think they were down 9 with about 10 minutes to go. If they don't win that game against San Jose to start conference play, I don't think they're in the position they're in for at-large considerations for some of the other stuff. Maybe they don't have the momentum to come back to beat CSU in the next game and go to Reno and win. I mean, I thought that was just a massive comeback when these two teams played very first game of conference play almost a month and a half ago.
Well, how about the Spartans in their first 3 games? I mean, their first 2 games ahead of Boise State in the second half, end up losing a close one, losing by 3 points against San Diego State. Can you imagine if San Jose State had beat Boise State and San Diego? This would be a completely different conference nationwide, really.
Yes.
The whole conversation nationwide would be different. Talk about the Mountain West. But I think season saving, looking back on it now, probably,
not too strong.
Not too strong, but I don't know. We'll say it's okay, because I still think they could make the NCAA tournament if they lost to San Jose State. So I don't think it would have ended the season, but I think it would look totally different than it does now.
And that was the Omar Stanley, Max Amy battle back and forth. Amy had 25 in the first half, really kept San Jose State in it. He only had 5 in the second half, and Boise State was able to come back and win that game. But I got to limit Amy again tonight.
Yeah, he's a guy who can just get really hot. The Broncos saw that in the first half. He was pulling up from 3-4 feet behind the arc on fast breaks, knocking down. It was either 4 or 5 threes in that first half. But, I mean, as much as we're going to be concerned about San Jose State, they're going to look at the tape and say, how do we stop Omar Stanley? I wouldn't be surprised if you see double teams coming at him, because Fresno State did not double team in the post and just got worked by the Boise State big guys, and I think that can happen against San Jose State if they don't double.
Only 2 wins since December 20th for San Jose. I mean, they've got some talented guards. They just have not been able to translate that into wins. They're sitting at 2-11 in the conference right now. Is this kind of similar to the Fresno game? Just get up early, not let them get any confidence in here? That's the way to go, and that's even more important when you're playing a team that relies on the three. San Jose State is a really good three-point shooting team as a whole. And so if you let them hang around, I mean, you see it all the time in the NCAA tournaments, right? The talent is so heavily weighed with one team compared to the other, but that other team can shoot threes, and if they get hot, then they can end up pulling an upset. So San Jose State, very good three-point shooting team. Got to limit their attempts, and hopefully they don't get super hot. What else you want to see from Boise State to get a victory tonight? Well, I want to see it go inside again. I think the advantage is in the post in this game as well. Establish yourself inside, because once you do that, San Jose State's going to have to counter by doing something, and I think it's going to be running double teams at Degenhardt and Stanley. And ever since that first game, I believe it was at Fresno or at Nevada when they first started doubling the big guys inside, and they had some trouble. Since that game, the big guys have done a much better job of passing out of double teams. Establish your inside presence, and then start passing out for your open shooters. 23-23, San Diego State, Utah State. I mean, what's this? It's a fun time of year as a player, I would imagine. Fans are getting into it, but every game matters now. Boise State back in a tie in the loss column for first place. I mean, this is the best time of year. Yeah, and Boise State is in probably the best position out of any team in the conference right now with the schedule that they have compared to everybody else. You got San Diego State and Utah State playing, and tomorrow it's Colorado State and New Mexico, so two other teams that are going to get another loss. So I think what we're looking for tonight in that game in Logan, though, is the Aztecs to hopefully pull it off, because you cannot end up in a tie with Utah State, since they did beat the Broncos twice. Only 4 players, by the way, scored in that first game against in San Jose. That's for Boise State. Pretty crazy. How many points do we have? Wasn't it like 79 or something? It was almost 80 with only 4 players. It was where was it? It was 78 with 4 players scored. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Abe, as we're getting you out of here, man, congratulations. We saw it the other night at ExtraMile Arena on Saturday. 20 years with the program, man. They surprised you with the game ball. They did. Yeah, I thought I was going out there to give a ball to a booster. Landon Day from Learfield asked me to come out there, and then he said, "This is for you." And so, 4 years with the program playing, and then 16 on the radio. And I didn't know this, but they said over 600 games total, which is a huge number that I had a hard time wrapping my head around for a little while. You've been to more games than, because obviously you've been here longer than Bob, counting the playing days. I mean, have you been to more? You've seen more live Boise State games than anybody probably in the last 20 years, certainly. Probably, because of all the away games. You've been to almost every game. I'm sure there's some people that have been coming to home games since probably the late to mid 80s, but they only home games. Hey, man. Been a lot of fun, though, BJ. It's been a ton of fun. In about 15 minutes, we'll be over there hearing you on KBOI with Bob. This is 14 years of you and Bob together? 13? 16. 16. Oh, 14 for Leon. You guys were here. 16 years, you and Bob Beeler. So you'll be in about 15 minutes. KBOI over there on 670 AM with the pregame, the broadcast. I believe they pushed the start back to 8:40 now, unfortunately. Probably. I just know I'm not going to get the slide maybe to 8:45. I just know I'm not going to get to bed on time. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. So, appreciate it. Going to take a quick 90-second timeout. Dan Dickow is going to join us as well, from one sharp shooting analyst to another. We'll keep it rolling here. Back in 90 seconds, live here from ExtraMile Arena on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Back live here at ExtraMile Arena. BJ Rains with you as Boise State gets set to take on San Jose State. Our man Dan Dickow is going to join us as we get set to talk about this one. We're excited to talk some Boise State basketball with the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Dickow, former Gonzaga sharpshooter, knows Leon Rice very, very well, and he is on the call tonight for FS1. Dan loves to get to cover the Boise State games and talk to Leon until he remembers that he has to get a text message from me to come back on at some point every time. But, Dan, we appreciate you as always for sitting down for a couple of minutes here and chatting with us. And the game itself tonight, I mean, Boise State is obviously on paper a heavy favorite tonight, but for a team still fighting for a Mountain West title, I mean, every game's a big one at this point.
Yeah, when you look at the Mountain West standings, I don't have them sitting in front of me, but those top 6 teams, I think it's like a game and a half total separate each of them. And when you look at Boise's remaining schedule, I don't want to say they have an easy trek the rest of the way, but you got to like how it shapes up. They play, I believe it's Air Force. They still have Fresno State. Wyoming. But they do have the one that I think, the league must have known something going in, the battles that San Diego State as well as Boise State have had the last couple of years. They put them on the last day of the regular season. I would not be surprised if that is for the league title.
Last year, San Diego State had to come here on senior night.
Yes.
Max had that huge game. Boise State won, so they had to return the favor. They said, all right, you got to go back to their senior night this year. I'm sure that'll be electric there at Viejas. But you've obviously followed this team closely. You've done 4 or 5 games. You watch a lot of the games. You're close with Leon and Tyson and a lot of them. What do you make of this team? Obviously fighting for back to get 3rd year in a row, trying to get to the tournament, and had that kind of ugly week where they lost a couple on the road to Utah State, Colorado State, but had the bye, regrouped, obviously looked much better against Fresno. What do you make of just kind of where Boise State's at right now?
Well, if you look at it, I mean, that Colorado State, that Utah State losses, right, you could say, hey, those were awful. Well, let's take another step back. Those were road games, and road wins in this league are extremely hard to come by. Colorado State is hard to say that anybody has more experience than Boise State, but Colorado State has that. I believe they have 7 guys that have played over 100 college basketball games now on their roster. So, that's going to be a tough place to play. Isaiah Stevens, I think, has that advantage in the point guard matchup. And then Utah State, that's a difficult one simply for the fact that it's Stu Morrill night. There's going to be a lot of emotions in the crowd. The crowd's really going to be amped up, juiced, ready to go.
Yep.
They were on a mini slide themselves in a certain way, and they needed that one badly. But when you look at it, Utah State to get that win, Falslev had to come through big. I think he had a career-high 25.
He did.
It was. So, it wasn't necessarily Osterbohr and Brown that beat them that night. It was the guys that they were challenging to beat Boise State.
What Tyson Degenhart, got off to a little bit of a slow start. That game up in Spokane, he struggled. And he's had a couple games like that. But the last 12 games, I think he's scored over 20, like 7 of the last 12 or 7 of the last 13. And he's playing at an first-team all-level player right now.
Yeah, I would expect him to be first-team All-Mountain West. I think the player of the year is going to be determined by probably the team that wins.
Ledee is going to be tough to overcome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think Ledee is definitely garnering attention for potential All-American candidate, rightfully so because he got off to such a tremendous start. But I think when you look at Tyson, his progress throughout the course of his career has been tremendous. And this year you've seen, progress throughout the year. I think early in the year, I think he was trying to feel his way out with some new guys that were going to fit in new roles, Roddy Anderson being one of them, Omar Stanley. And really since I had the Boise State game at San Jose State,
yes.
I think Stanley and Tyson have really figured out, how that inside-outside combination can work with both of those front court players.
I know you've done a lot of games since then, but that game, I said on the post-game show when I was talking to Leon, they were down 9 in that game with 10 minutes left. I said this could be a season-saving second half here for Boise State. And at the time, Leon was like, that's probably going a little too far. The other day, he was kind of like, you know what, it might have been. If they'd have lost that game, started 0-1 in conference play, had a quad 4 loss on the resume, it would look a lot different. I mean, that was a hell of a comeback in the second half for them to win that game.
It was, and they weathered the storm in the first half by San Jose State, in particular with Myron Amy. I think he had 25 of his 30 in the first half.
Him and Stanley were just going back and forth.
Yeah, and then, what it came down to was Boise State getting stops defensively down the stretch, which is something that this program has really kind of built over the last few years, is that defensive identity. They were really good switching things late in that game, so they couldn't get broken down off dribble penetration, and San Jose State couldn't take advantage of it. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what thought process Boise State implements in regards to switching, not switching tonight. But the first thing tonight is you got to locate Amy in particular in transition, because he's ultra aggressive.
What Max Rice had been struggling for a while earlier in the season, and he's, I think, 50% in his last 5 or 6 games from 3 once he had that breakout game. Abo's getting going a little bit. He had 3 threes in the last game after a couple rough games. I mean, when it feels like, as someone that's watched and been to every game this season, they haven't had a lot of games where all their stars have been clicking at the same time. And it seems like that would be a positive to think that could still happen. Do you feel that we saw that a little bit in the Fresno game, but I mean, do you feel like Tyson and Buzo and Max and Omar, and I mean, that there's still more in the tank, I guess, another level we think this Boise State team can get to?
Well, yes and no, but you also got to like the fact that if one of those guys has a quiet night or it may be an off night, you still can win and weather the storm. I think when you look at it, those are the 4 guys that are averaging double figures on the season. They've been your most consistent. But in big games down the stretch, if you're going to compete for a league title, you are going to lean and rely upon those 4 guys. And if 3 of the 4 can play well, they're probably going to win the game that night. If all 4 of them play well, I'm not a betting man. I can't with my role now. But if all 4 play well, they would be very hard to beat.
You mentioned the standings earlier. I got them on the screen here. But it's a 5-point game at halftime. Utah State is up at home. That would drop down San Diego State potentially. You'd have 2 teams there with Boise State and Utah State with 4 losses, although Utah State did sweep Boise State. But, I mean, you mentioned that last game could mean something. I mean, even a team like Wyoming is only 2 games back in the loss column right now. I mean, just you've followed basketball, followed this league for a long time. Can you ever remember a league this good and competitive? I mean, there's a real chance you could have 5 teams tied for second place or something when this is all said and done.
Yeah, this is a really fun league to call games in this season. You talked about, Wyoming. The thing is that is not an easy place to go to Laramie and win a road game. So I would not be surprised to see one of those top 6 teams slip when they're in Laramie. And the other thing is, we haven't even touched on UNLV. They beat Boise State here at home.
Yep.
They are ultra talented. They might have the best freshman in the league, and Don Thomas. They've got some older pieces that are very productive as well, but they haven't been as consistent as Kevin Kruger would have liked. But that's a team that I would definitely keep my eye on. Now, they had too many bad losses. I think they have 3 quad 4 losses.
Yep.
So, you don't really look at them as a bubble team, but they could really, kind of play the dagger role for a team that's kind of teetering on the edge.
Yeah, and they could be a threat down there in Vegas, too, in a couple of weeks for the conference tournament. And you mentioned Wyoming. Boise State has to go there on Saturday. I know that's a scary game because Nevada and Colorado State have already lost in Laramie this year. So we'll see. But how's your you said you got a daughter, right, that goes to Boise State?
Yes.
Yes. So the grade's okay? Everything all right? I mean, you're
yeah, grades are fine.
Okay.
She's online,
right.
So she still lives at home. But
okay.
we see her wearing the Boise State Broncos sweatshirts all the time.
You're part of your game check tonight from working is going right back into Boise State here. How about that?
It is. Yes, it is.
That's awesome, man. I remember when you said that last time. That was pretty cool. But appreciate it, Dan, as always. We'll be watching the call coming up here at 8:30 on Fox Sports 1. You're with Dan Healy tonight?
Yeah, Dan Healy.
Yep.
We haven't called a game together in a number of years, but he's one of the best on FS1. So it should be a fun call for both of us. And it should be a good game. I mean, it's a late start.
Yeah,
but it also is a team in Boise State that's playing for something, and that's to not lose ground in that title race.
And all indications are the point guard, Cardenas, is good to go, right?
He went through shoot-around.
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything more than that.
I saw him out there a little earlier. It looked okay. He was sick or something, had the flu? Or
Yeah, Coach Miles said he was a little under the weather,
Yeah.
But he is a talented point guard. He makes the most out of his opportunities. We mentioned Amy earlier, but he kind of really gets them into what they need to do offensively to have a chance to win.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Dan. There he is, Dan Dickow. Great player in his own right now, a great broadcaster, and we appreciate his time here on Bronco Nation News. Check out his podcast with the great Adam Morrison as well. He does a great job there on his podcast. I highly recommend you check out that podcast if you are able to. But about 42 minutes on the clock. We'll take your score predictions. We'll take your comments. We'll take your shout-outs. Where are you watching from tonight? I've seen a couple folks already giving the shout-out. Somebody was in Yuma, Arizona. I'll see if I can find that. By the way, is Cardenius active? I believe, yes. Saw him warming up earlier. I believe he is good to go tonight, Patrick. If you're asking about Cardenius for San Jose State, believe he is. By the way, somebody said the game was tied. The game is not tied. The score I'm looking at is 31-26. At the half, Utah State leads by 5. Utah State by 5 at the half at home against San Diego State. If you're a Boise State fan, if you're a New Mexico fan, any fan of any team in the league that thinks they have a chance at winning the title, Colorado State, you really, really need San Diego State to come back in the second half there. That's a game that you need San Diego State to win if you're going to win the league. Roy's got 88-66. And yes, Bill L., he does have a daughter that's on the online program at Boise State, so that's pretty cool. And yes, he does look like he could still go out there and play. The great John Anderson right now talking to Dan Dickow. I'm sure that's a great conversation. Dan's a big fan here of everyone wants to get a chance to catch up with him. Ken Dick watching from Lebanon, Tennessee. We appreciate you, Ken. Thank you for watching. Dylan Cooper in Section 12. Dylan, I see you over there. Appreciate you for watching as well, man. Nathaniel is going blowout city, 94-62. The Ken Palm number is 16 tonight. So it was 14 last week, and they are on Saturday, and they won by 24. The number tonight is 16. We'll see if Boise State can win by at least 16. You'd love to win by at least 20. Comfortable win and help the metrics again. But the minimum number tonight you'd like to win by is 16. I guess the minimum number is 1. Just win the game. But certainly 16 is the number that would help with the numbers. Sports guys got 87-60. Appreciate you. By the way, Kareem the Dream, we got your address. Your Taco Bell gift card is on the way. Whoever is close enough tonight with the score prediction will get a $20 gift card to Taco Bell like Kareem the Dream. He was 1 point off the final score from the last game against Fresno State, and so we are sending him his gift card. You get the score prediction in, you're closest, you get a $20 gift card to Taco Bell. You just have to get the score prediction in. You have to hit like at the bottom of the video here. Like our video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be picking out some winners here. 59-74. Bill's got this game being right at the point spread or right around there. Is Cardenius playing? I believe, yes. He was warming up pregame. As you can see, they are not on the court right now. Only Boise State is on the court warming up, so there's the Foam Ranger coming in. We see him over there walking in right now. He's got the foam hat on. He's got the cape. Always love when the Foam Ranger, Nathaniel Wilder, makes his way into the arena. He's down there on the other side. The great Vinny Peretta. Vinny Peretta is in the house. Look at this. He's we got some dignitaries here tonight. Vinny Peretta right there in the bottom left of your screen. Always enjoy seeing Vinny. Matt Boucher is going to be here. We'll see who else, what other folks show up tonight. I know it's a little bit of a late game, 8:30. Certainly going to be a smaller crowd probably than usual. This is a whiteout, by the way. I'm not sure you would know that by the amount of people not wearing white. I don't think they do a very good job, to be 100% honest, of marketing that or letting people know, because they had an orange out the other night. You wouldn't have known that either. But it is a whiteout tonight. 79-51. Paul's got 90-66. Jordan's got 82-57. Tom DeGroot's got 86-63. 82-68 for Jumpin' Jan. Woodburn, Oregon is where Lisa's watching from, wishing she could be here. Appreciate that. Tom is watching from Melba. Appreciate that. There's Jumpin' Jan watching from Yuma, Arizona. So we got Tennessee, Arizona, Oregon, and Melba so far checking in. Vinny, what a legend. Yes, he is, down there in the bottom left of the screen. Jared's got 79-64. 88-64 is Robbie's guess. And again, make sure you're liking our broadcast. like this video down in the corner if you can to help us out. Jared's watching from Atlanta. How about that? We're in 5 states already. Pretty cool, the reach that Bronco Nation News has, that we are in 5 different states right now. Creamy, cold Boise's got 90-72, Boise State in this one. Sports Guy is watching from Minnesota. Broncos heading back to the locker room. They need to put shirts on the seats for whiteout games. I know Utah State does something like this. What they also need is some rally towels. Then we need to get for the New Mexico game coming up, huge game next weekend. We need to see if we can get some rally towels or something, get this place rocking. Bill L. watching in Southern California. Appreciate that. Idaho City checking in. Appreciate you, Christine. Another one from Melba. All right, James, appreciate you. Kurt's got 83.59. Sports Guy is in Minnesota. All right, we need to get a little interactive map going here or something where we can spread out and show where folks are watching from. But I think we're up to about 7 or 8 states at this point, Minnesota and Georgia. Ben has 92.66. Sean S., our winner, my couch in Meridian. I like that, Sean. Jared is needing a big second half for the Aztecs. Yes, that is a 31-26 score at the break. And our man Mason Foslev is 0 for 3 from 3 and only has 5 points after scoring 25 a career high against Boise State. Darius Brown does have 12. Isaac Johnson with 2. Grant Osabor with 4. Utah State's only 3 of 12 from the three-point line in that game. But San Diego State is 1 of 9 from 3 themselves. And Jason Ledee has 8. Trammell has 6. But San Diego State only 26 points in the first half there in that one. Denise, always appreciate you for watching. She's got 88-72 watching out in Caldwell. Sean Murdoch's got 82-66. Again, get your score prediction in. Like the video. And if your score is the closest, you get a $20 gift card to our friends at Taco Bell. Let's thank a couple more of our sponsors. A couple of quick commercial breaks to thank our sponsors. We'll keep this thing rolling with some live coverage as Boise State gets set to host San Jose State. Still 35 minutes on the clock. We'll keep this thing rolling. Go grab another Cutwater. Cutwater Spirits, more than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Grab a Cutwater. We'll thank a couple of our great sponsors and be right back on Bronco Nation News.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Pow day. Dude, let's go.
Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at circalasvegas.com.
The Blue and Orange Store, another great sponsor of Bronco Nation News. Free shipping, any order over $40. Or you can go right there to the Boise Town Square Mall on the second floor next to Pro Image. Shirts, hats, all the NIL apparel, sweatshirts, bumper stickers, car flags, you name it. They got it at the Blue and Orange Store. Again, check them out online, theblueandorangestore.com. And if you're looking for a job, how about Transportation Compliance Service? They can help you out every step of the way to get into the trucking industry. Transcompservice.com, the DOT overweight permits. Over 75% of the people that try to do it themselves end up going out of business. So let the professionals handle it. Transportation Compliance Service, they'll get you on the road in no time. As I said, transcompservice.com. And our friends at Taco Bell, check them out as well, tacobellworks.com. If you're looking for a new job, they're hiring, and they can give you half your wages the very next day after your shift. So highly recommend the folks at Taco Bell, all the freestanding Treasure Valley Taco Bell stores. We appreciate the Nicolason family, SON Management, for their support of Bronco Nation News. And again, check them out, tacobellworks.com. And of course, Bronco Brew Coffee as well. BroncoBrew.coffee. Check them out. Roasted to order coffee. You're helping the NIL game at Boise State with every sip. It's fresh, delicious coffee. Check it out at broncobrew.coffee. Back here live at ExtraMile Arena, you see the warm-ups, the crowd filing in. Very curious what the crowd is going to be tonight. I'm not expecting this to be a monster crowd. But we'll find out. Jordan Morales. Let's put Jordan Morales on for a second. Why not? We're going to throw Jordan on for a second. They're not going to be able to hear you, Jordan, but they can see. They can't see you, but they can hear you. Jordan Morales, how we doing, man?
What's up, brother?
You got the old school jersey on there. I like it.
That's right, whack days.
How you
wide out?
Back up a little bit, then they'll see you on the camera here. We can we'll try to aim it down a little bit here. There he is. What's how are you feeling about the game tonight, man?
Feeling very good. Feeling like Saturday, honestly. I think this is going to be a good one. These are the games you love to be at. You know, you work your heart so hard.
Yes.
A lot of these games in the Mountain West. I think this is the one. They're going to be fun. They're fun. Now, I remember San Jose State here last year. It was a little bit more stressful.
It was.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And it was stressful in San Jose at the beginning of conference play as well.
Yep.
Tell us about the success you guys have been having down there in the first half with the free throw game lately.
Depends on the team. Some of these teams have destroyed us, but last week we got Fresno's number. Cal State Fresno, they come in here 0-2 against us free throw shooting in the first half. Last year was 0-4. We're going 0-6 2 years straight here. So
what's a good percentage? You just like to keep them below their season
50.
average, right?
You want to keep them 50% or less at the free throw line, right? That 50% line, that's great.
Late game tonight, 8:30. A little worried about the energy in here, the crowd tonight?
Yeah, we're going to need some Dr. Pepper for sure.
Okay.
Hopefully everyone's drinking those right now.
And you're feeling overall good about where the team is moving forward here?
Man. Yeah, for sure. You know, you look at some of the other teams in the conference, Utah State in particular, first half of the conference, they had one of the weaker conference schedules in the first half, right? Now they're going through the gauntlet. We've been through the gauntlet. I think it's time for us to peak. We want to peak going in that tournament. We want to have fun in Vegas, right?
Oh, dude, you're going to be there.
Dude,
you're going to be there at the pool party, right?
Swim straight to the games that night. It's going to be great. So.
I mean, we really do need a win in the quarterfinal to help make it a little better on that night. But
so yeah, I think we're in a great spot.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep rolling here. It's gonna be a good one. Appreciate all your coverage though, dude.
Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna talk about Stadium Swim. I got it on the screen, but we appreciate you and have fun tonight, man.
You too,
Under 50%. Let's go.
Let's go. Go Broncos.
Well, you'll see him at the pool party coming up in a couple of weeks at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. Would love to see you join us. We're almost at 100 people. We're at 97 RSVP to come to the pool party. That is just nuts. They're going to give us an entire pool just to Bronco Nation News. We got some private cabanas. We got a lot of cool stuff. It's going to be a awesome day. We're doing this win or lose. If Boise State loses Thursday and you're not rushing back, come party away your sorrows at Circa anyway. So if they lose, we're still doing this. But free entry, email me, rains@bronconationnews.com. I will pay the $50 cover charge to get you in that day. We want to take over Stadium Swim, show them that their advertising is working with BNN. It's going to be an awesome day if you've never been there before. Watch some games, hang out in the pool, have some food, some drinks. And if you're a paid subscriber, your first drink or two is on me. We'll have some appetizers as well. So come on out. Circa Resort and Casino, Stadium Swim, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday, March 15th. I would recommend coming closer to the 10 a.m. portion. Come for the first couple of hours. Give you time to go shower and change back to your hotel and get ready for the games that evening. I would say the biggest crowd's going to be like 10 to 2 probably. 2 o'clock is when Prater and Johnny go live with their broadcast as well. So email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, and we'll have a spot for you for free. And we'll also have a spot for you if you email me for the BNN Golf Tournament. Save the date, May 31st. If you played last year or you played the first year and you want to play again, email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, and you get first dibs on a spot. Whole sponsorships also are available. Email me. General registration will go on up in a couple of weeks, probably right about when basketball season ends. So if you played last year and you want your spot again, email me and we'll save your spot, rains@bronconationnews.com. Then whatever spots we have left, which will go quickly this year, we're expecting to sell out of both the morning and afternoon sessions. That'll come in a couple of weeks. We are going to do a pairings party the night before. More details to come on that, but going to be a cool event the night before to hopefully hear from some of the celebrities and special guests. And then we're actually going to bid with the proceeds going to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, a chance to have the special guests in your foursome the next day in the tournament. So going to be a lot of fun. If you played last year, again, email me, and we'll save you a spot. save the date if you didn't play last year but you want to play, and we'll put registration on here in a couple of weeks. Second half has started. Utah State is now up 8. That is 36-28. 17:32 to go in the second half. Chad's got 80-57. Yes, Cardenius is playing. I've said this about 5 times. I know guys are coming in and out, but yes, Cardenius is warming up. Fully expect him to play. We'll see, but he is warming up out there on the court. I guess I don't have 100% confirmation that he is starting, but I see him out there warming up, and he's in uniform, so I would expect him to play. Sky, we're talking basketball tonight, but I know you're curious about the football OC. No news has broken on that to this point. Kurt bringing up the Vinny Peretta reference. We saw Vinny earlier tonight running down the sideline against Oregon in 2008. Kurt saying it's not looking good. It's a 6-point game right now, 36-30. 36-30. Utah State is up 6, 17-11 to go. Kevin Carter has 88-56 as his score prediction. Holly Cook, appreciate you, Holly, for watching. 90-77. We'll see if she's closest and if she has another Taco Bell gift card headed her way. We got, believe we did Sean S. already, but we'll put it out there just to be sure. 85-69. Sean Murdoch, I believe we also did 82-66. Christine is happy that Stephen Ashworth no longer plays at Utah State. He is dominating at Creighton. There's Bob Schuler. We appreciate seeing him as always. Christine is happy that Stephen Ashworth transferred to Creighton because he is lighting them up, I guess, tonight, hitting some threes. The former Utah State star. Boise State, they're back on the court. You can see the Broncos there taking the floor for this one. Boise State, everybody good to go tonight and suited up. Again, the Ken Palm number, the Vegas spread is about 16 tonight. So if you're looking to improve the computer metrics, you need Boise State to win this one probably by about 20 points. Jeremy says 92-57. I would take that. Boise State would take that. That would be a super nice win, Jeremy. I would love that so I could have my story maybe done. A 3 for San Diego State, a 7-0 run in the last 150. They've cut the deficit to 3 points there. Believe that's on CBS Sports Network. It is now 36-33. Oh, now 38-33 as Asibor just had a dunk on the other end. 38-33. 16 minutes to go there. So flip over to CBS Sports Network. Going to be a fun second half watching that one. And again, you really need San Diego State to win that if you're Boise State and want to have a chance at the regular season title. Going to be hard to catch Utah State if they win this game tonight. Jeremy's got 92-57 with San Diego State. I assume you mean San Jose State, unless you're already getting your prediction in for a couple weeks from now in Viejas Arena, and that would be the most ballsiest prediction of all time, 92-57. But crowd filing in. Again, it is a whiteout. Not a ton of folks wearing white. There's some, but this is a whiteout tonight. San Jose State and Boise State. And again, the Mountain West standings, we've got those. I'll try to put them on the screen here for a second. Sorry about this. This is bad hosting here. There you go. There's the Mountain West standings right now as we speak. And you see this is a massive game for a lot of teams. San Diego State, Utah State. If Utah State wins this, they don't have a lot of losable games left, so I don't expect to see them probably lose too many more times. If San Diego State wins, then certainly that helps Boise State because they still get the game against San Diego State a little later here to end the regular season. You got Colorado State and New Mexico playing tomorrow, so one of those teams is going to 6 losses. They're going to be 2 games behind Boise State. Boise State trying to clinch a first-round bye here. You need to get New Mexico. Nevada is playing Wyoming tonight. I don't know if that'll be a huge chance for Nevada or not, but maybe kind of a sleepy game for Nevada coming off the big win against UNLV. We'll see, but Utah State up 7 as we speak, so we'll see if there we go. Bob just wants BSU to win. Don't care if we win by 1. As long as we win, go Broncos. And yes, CBS Sports Network, the Wyoming-Nevada game is after that double Mountain West game tonight. Mountain West Coach of the Year, Kurt Blake says that Utah State's coach, I think it's got to be. I think he's got to be in the running for National Coach of the Year at this point with what he has done. So huge kudos to Utah State. But again, they got to finish this off tonight, and then they're in a really good spot to win the conference. They're up 7 at the media timeout with 15:31 to go. So we're about 20 minutes from tip-off, Boise State and San Jose State. We're going to jump off here, let you go grab one more Cutwater, get the kids to bed, and get ready for the game tonight. Again, appreciate all of our sponsors, Lithia, Ford of Boise, RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. There would be no Bronco Nation news without RowPaint.com, so we appreciate them. Appreciate Cutwater Spirits. Again, more than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Make sure you pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. And we appreciate all of you guys. It's going to be a late post-game show, but hopefully you'll stick with us. We'll be live about 11 o'clock. Give us about 30 minutes or so after the game ends to get the interviews in, and we'll give you a full breakdown of the Mountain West standings and the games tonight. We'll have some highlights, post-game interviews, analysis. As we do every game, make it a part of your game day routine to check us out on the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game show. So please like this video. Please subscribe on YouTube. Please tell your friends. And we'll talk to you guys after the game. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at BJ Rains. You can follow BNN Bronco Nation on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook as well. We'll have all the in-game tweets and coverage and stats on our social media channels. And then we'll be live with the post-game show, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter about 30 minutes after the game ends. Again, Boise State looking to stay in a first-place tie in the loss column in the Mountain West. Looking to keep the momentum going ahead of a 2-game road trip to Wyoming and Air Force coming up over the weekend. So appreciate you guys. Enjoy the game. Go grab another Cutwater. We'll talk to you on Twitter, and then we'll talk to you on the post-game show. BJ Rains, thanks to Dan Dickow. Thanks, Dave Jackson. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bronco Nation News Live. Tip-off coming up in about 20 minutes. Enjoy it at ExtraMile Arena here at BroncoNationNews.com.